Alright, we're back on gaming. Let me say this now, I'm very disappointed. I'm saying disappointed and not angry because I put it like this. If I had done this video when I first got the news, and I saw the news, and then what happened last night, I'd have been this would have been a completely different type of video. I'm just letting you know that now, okay? Because the fact is, a lot of things that are being said about this community from people in the community, and they want to call themselves real fucking gamers, you're not a real fucking gamer. I'm going to address that part, but it seems like everyone else has already taken care of that issue. So I'm going to say that I'm coming from a less charged place. If you want to call this less charged, I'm coming from a less charged place right now. I'm just going to say I'm very disappointed in the things that I have seen within the community and in the industry, and it needs to be addressed. But before we get started on all those things, I want to talk about a specific issue, which is where's the fair use? I want to talk about that for a minute because I have seen this time and time again. This being brought up in the previous week, and all these big YouTubers are coming out and saying, "Where's the fair use? This is unfair, and there needs to be something done about this YouTube." Blah 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 blah. And we saw just yesterday, or should I say last night, Team 4-Star had their entire channel taken down. That's right, because of terms of fair use. People are saying, where's the fair use? And others are saying, well, they use way too much footage for it to be considered fair use. So let me talk about this really quickly before we move on, okay? I don't give a flying fuck what those big YouTubers have to say. All of a sudden, they want to come out and say, well, where's the fair use? You do realize this has been going on for years and years, alright? Smaller YouTubers were getting attacked. As you know, I've been fighting this fight for years when it comes to fair use, when it comes to my videos, and I've always won. Under the guise of fair use, of course. Alright? Now, with that said, don't tell me, all of a sudden in 2016, because this has been going back since 2010, 2011, since it really started, don't tell me now, all of a sudden, you want to make a big deal out of it. Because smaller YouTubers, or just people in the community, have been telling big YouTubers time and time again, look, this is a problem, you need to address it. Now, all of a sudden, that it's on their front door, on their doorstep, alright, years later, now they want to talk about it. As far as I'm concerned, you can go fuck yourselves, alright? Don't sit here and tell me all of a sudden, the big YouTubers are coming down their mountain, and they're going to come and help us, they're for us, they're going to help us. Fuck them. Where were they then? They weren't around, were they? No, they weren't. So as far as I'm concerned, all of them can eat a dick. As far as I'm just let's move on, man. Let's move on. I want to talk about Fire Emblem. That's right, Fates. Let's talk about it because as we know, localization has been a problem. That's right, and fans are upset. And I talked about this before, but here's an update, and we have even some serious news on this. First off, you cannot tell me that the community is at odds when it comes to localization. Clearly, if you've seen the problems with this game, there is no way, it's uncalled for, it's unacceptable that they would localize this the way they have, and that people should just be like, we're just going to buy it, and we're just going to keep quiet about it. Now, mind you, Fire Emblem has sold a number, for those who don't know, has sold a lot since, this controversy. Now, I will say this, Nintendo, you do have a problem on your hands. Because when you have people in Nintendo Treehouse, okay, come out and try to push their narrative on what games should be. That's right, because apparently you need to know social and intersocial issues in real life before you can talk about video games. And this child, and I call her a child because she's absolutely wrong on this issue, you do not need to know real life and intersocial or intersectional, issues in real life in order to talk intelligent about games. You do not. Why? Because games are fantasy. Anybody who deals with real life will tell you this. They'll be able to separate the two. So as far as I'm concerned, for you to sit here and try and push an agenda and try and push a narrative into a game when you're supposed to just localize this for everything that it is, now put it like this. When you're localizing things, you should know you have one job. That is not to influence anyone else. It is to make sure that you get as close, as accurate as possible. Okay? That's what you do. Of course, there's going to be changes here and there. Alright? But for you to sit here and take this stance, now mind you, this woman works for Nintendo Treehouse. So there is a problem here. Okay? For you to try and push this narrative that you need to know about life. I guarantee you, chick, if we were put in a room together, I guarantee you I've been through a hell of a lot more shit than you could ever imagine that you've been through, and you want to talk about real life. The fact is, you do not need that. Games are an escape from real life. So it's okay if a character's too sexy or something is un-PC at the times in games. It's fine. because that's what they're creating. That's the world they're creating. For you to sit here and say that you need to know more. No, you don't. You don't. This is what I mean. Once again, whatever happened to just playing games and having fun? Like I said, people in real life who deal with real life issues all the time do not try and push this narrative in games. They want that escape. That's what it is. And for you to sit here and try to take that type of stance is absolutely childish. It's immature as fuck. But for you to sit here and say afterwards, because remember, you need to know real life in order to have an intelligent talk about games. But then she goes on to say this about video games, about how it's not the most important thing in the world. If it's not the most important thing in the world, you wouldn't be trying so hard to push that belief that they need to know something in real life in order to enjoy or talk intelligently about this game. So right there, you already screwed yourself. But this child, alright, has already have a problem with bagging on gamers. She brags about censoring games. That's right. So, and this is Nintendo Trish. Nintendo, this is a huge problem when it comes to your staff. So, and this is the type of person that you're hiring, alright, who are saying these type of things. There's a thing called, how can I put this? Professional conduct. And if she's not going to act professional, then guess what? Then she needs to be let go. That's what it comes down to. Nintendo, you should at least have some type of screening process. It seems like, for some reason, this industry has a horrible screening process. We saw it with Mighty Number 9. We're seeing it with this. There's no reason for this. Like I said, these games are an escape from reality. When you deal with the pressures and everything from, everyday life that you deal with, you just want to just sit back, kick your feet up, and play a game and have fun. You shouldn't be told, you can't do this because this isn't PC, or you can't do this because it doesn't fit my agenda. Get the fuck out of here with this whole bullshit. And they want to talk about gamers being entitled. Really? Yeah. But since we're speaking about the community, because for some reason they're at odds, we are seeing a lot of fighting when it comes to this game. Now, for those who have not seen problems with the localization, you know what? Let's look exactly how they changed. Here's just a sample of how they changed. This is a comparison between the Japanese version and the American version of Fire Emblem. Content is missing. And then when you're seeing these issues, because I'm showing you this, so you can see, hey, this is a big problem. And yet you have gamers in this community who want to get on their immature high horse, that's right, and decide that they're going to bag on anybody who decides they have a disagreement with this issue. Now, when I saw that tweet, at first I thought it was a trolling tweet. I really did. I had to ask you guys. I was like, yo, is this person trolling? Because you can't be this stupid, all right? But you people confirm. It's like, no, this is real. So this goes to show you, this is a good example of people who don't know the issues, but are quick to run their fucking mouths and start insulting people. At least know what you're talking about first before calling dumb people, making them angry. At least do that. Can you? All right? Because not only do you make us look bad as a community trying to fix these type of things and address these issues, you make yourself look bad as well by jumping the gun. Now, speaking of jumping the gun, let's talk about a game called Firewatch, or at this point I should call it Firewall. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Firewatch in the special thank you credits, alright? Credits Anita Sarkeesian. I see Tim Schafer there as well. Now, with this, when this was released, alright, when it was revealed, okay, a lot of gamers said, I'm not buying Firewatch due to the fact that Anita Sarkeesian has her grubby little paws all over it, and we're not going to support it. Which is fair, alright? Other people wanted to know before they bought the game exactly how much influence she had. Apparently, Anita Sarkeesian, for what we're hearing, she was a consultant apparently, and gave ideas towards this game. So, with that being said, I would say, companies, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you still listening to frauds on how they can fix your product for the masses that play these games? They're not gamers. They don't care. And if you don't believe me, let's take a step back. Let's go back into memory lane. where Ania Sarkeesian herself says she's not a gamer.
I'm going to show you a remix that I just finished this weekend and no one else has seen. One person has seen it. It's a soundtrack of one song, except I'm doing video games. So it's not exactly a fandom. I'm not a fan of video games. I actually had to learn a lot about video games in the process of making this. To me, the song is positive just because I've only contextualized it in a way to critique male domination in our media. And also video games, like I would love to play video games, but I don't want to go around shooting people and ripping off their heads, and it's just gross. So hence this is my response to that.
So let me get this straight. You're not a fan of games, but you want to play games, but you don't like shooting people in the head or ripping their heads off because it's gross. Yet, you went out and bought games that you played said that were some of your favorites, like Doom. That's right. Mind you, remember that stack that she decided that she wanted to post to show that she's a gamer all of a sudden? So industry, now I have to ask you, since you know she doesn't play games, she's not a gamer, she's only doing this to stay afloat when it comes to money-wise, that's all it is, it's a business to her. She doesn't give a damn about games, she has no passion for games, okay? We know this. But here's the thing, industry, I have to ask you, is this why are you listening to her? Is this a power play? Is that what this is? If you bring her in, you think that her followers will buy your product? Because you should know, those people, they don't play games either. So as far as I'm concerned, I have to ask, what is your motive here? What is your angle? You are listening to a person who does not care. They exploited the community as much as possible. They have lied, they've changed narrative, and you're still willing to give her 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chances? Makes no sense. And yet you're still going to keep her there. Is it because she's hot right now? So you want to try and ride the wave? I mean, what is it? Seriously, I want answers. Because it's absolutely ridiculous that gamers like myself, you know what I mean, have been playing games, have supported games throughout all these years, and you're listening to people who don't play games. You didn't listen to Jack Thompson? No, you didn't, did you? And if you listen to her ideas, whether you read her tweets or you listen to her videos, their ideas are pretty much identical. But for some reason, that's okay. Is it because she's a woman? Because if that's the case, then it makes it even worse. You should know her history. I just don't understand how you can sit here and let someone who has exploited this community so much get on this phase. Well, we're just going to give her thanks in the game. And we've seen other games as well. Towerfall as well. They put her in the damn game. I don't get it. I really don't. Like I said, there has to be some answers. As far as I'm concerned, Firewatch, until you give us answers, the same thing with EA with Mirror's Edge. Until you give us answers, not just she was just a consultant, blah, blah, blah. Tell us why you listened to her. And I'm not trying to hear because she represents the women demographic, because she doesn't. One person doesn't represent the entire demographic. Okay? Just saying. Like I said, maybe it's a business venture. We don't know. But the fact is, someone has to come out and say something. They need to release a statement on this. And as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't support this game until you come out with that statement. Not to mention that you thank Tim Schafer as well. Do you not know what happened to him in the previous year? Okay, all right. It tells me what side you're pretty much on at this point. And I understand maybe you want to get all these people, together and say, hey, we're buddy-buddy, so that means that'll maintain our longevity in the industry. You are going about it the wrong way. You really are. When don't developers understand, all right? If you make a quality game, a solid game, you don't even need that much backing. You don't even need all these names. You make a great game, and gamers will support you. We've seen it time and time again. Instead, you want to go the other route and, get all these people who have exploited our community so much, it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what? Since we're already on the subject, let's talk about people who has exploited this community for their own personal gain. That's right. For those who don't know, Scooby-Woo, that's right, Brianna Wu, comes out and buys Street Fighter V. That's right. And now that Scooby-Woo has Street Fighter V, Scooby-Woo has a message for you. So you're talking shit. Now look, I don't have a problem with people talking that much shit, but let's be honest here. You picked up Tutorial Fighter 5, because that's what it is, Tutorial Fighter 5, and then you decide because you beat a couple people online that now all of a sudden you can call people scrubs as if you're on this high tier of playing. That's what you want to sit here and say. Okay, I think it's time for you to be knocked down a notch. I think it is, because you're getting a little too ahead of yourself. Like I said, it's one thing that if you say you play, you win, okay. But to call people scrubs when people are literally just buying this game, I think that's a bit much. I really do. I think it's premature, if you ask me. But let's see what else Scooby-Woo has to say about the game. I'm gonna stop you right there. You really need to, because now you're fucking lying. You've been playing Street Fighter competitively for 25 years. What tournaments have you been at? Really? What arcades have you been at that you've been playing? I mean, we checked your deposit last week on the games that you've been playing, and as we know, you haven't been playing online. This is the first time you've been playing online. So what the fuck are you talking about? You've been playing competitively for 25 years. I want to know this. So where are the people who can back you on this? Where's your resume on this? Seriously, you got to show us something that says that all of a sudden that you've been playing Street Fighter competitively for 25 years. You've been probably playing competitively against a computer, but that's it. You haven't been, like I said, no one has seen you at a tournament. Nobody has seen you at, even at the old school, like I said, arcade tournament. No one knew who you were just a couple years ago. So what the fuck are you talking about? All right? That's simple. But you know what? Since you want to go that route as well, listen to what Scooby-Woo has to say about Shoto players. You really want to go there about Ken? So what you're saying is, since it's so easy that the flowchart for scrubs, are you telling me a person who has never played Street Fighter can pick up Street Fighter 5 and just be like, I'm good now with Ken? Is that what you're saying because the flowchart is so easy? That's bullshit. For you to sit here and say anything about Shotos when you should know some of the best players in the world, guess what? They use Shotos. It almost sounds like you're real fucking salty that you can't get past DP. That's what it seems like. Let me guess. You get caught on Wake Up Tattoo as well. Like, this fuck out of here with this old bullshit. For you to sit here and try and beg, first off, you call people scrubs twice, alright? The community, twice. You're afraid to take challenges, in the past because it's harassment. Now you want to sit here and act like you the shit because you're using Karen. You know what? It's time to pull your fucking card. Let's see just how good Brianna Wu is, because, yeah, we got footage. Let's see how good Brianna Wu is, since everyone else is a fucking scrub.
Round 1. Fight!
Good kung fu.
Round 2. Fight! Chun-Li wins.
So after all that shit you talked, you came to the game and brought a 3-hit combo. No setups, no spacing, nothing. Seriously, that's what you did. Maybe if you practice more than what you talked, you can at least reach Yamcha tier. Because right now, you're at bottom of the barrel, dumpster fire trash tier. That's what you're at right now, Brianna Wu. I cannot believe that you would sit there and talk all that shit and then play that way. But you know what? That's not all. For those who say, look, we really want to get her, because if she's going to sit here and she's going to talk shit about the community, well then, let's go at her. You know what? That's fine, because here is our PSN for y'all to challenge her. So there you have it, Street Fighter V community. Have at Woo as far as I'm concerned. Just to let you know, okay, Rockaway Carter already challenged Woo to a mirror match when it comes to Karen. And what happened with Woo? What Woo do? What Scooby Woo do? Duck out. Sidestepped. You know, we're seeing this a lot as like where people like to talk shit and then they can't back it up. I put it like this. If you're new to the game, then play the game and have fun. You don't need to talk shit. You don't need to, because you're still fucking learning the game. But for you to talk shit and bring that type of gameplay to the table, the fuck is wrong with you? You make yourself look like a fucking idiot. Speaking of people making themselves look like fucking idiots these days, let's talk about one Markman. Yeah, now, as you know, the previous 2 weeks, I have talked with Markman on Twitter. And every time he opens his fucking mouth, because mind you, I'm not atting Markman. He finds me, or finds a conversation with him, which we will talk about later, okay? And tries to make these piss poor excuses on why these promotions are going badly. Now, we know what happened with Lupe and Daigo, and we know how bad they came off and how bad they exploit the community, and just how bad it made the community look. Well, guess what? Markman is at it again. Here we go with this old bullshit again. Trying to exploit the community and make it look bad. You're pretty much throwing us to the dogs, because that's what you're doing with the community, so that they can cater to fucking celebrities. If you don't get the fuck out of my face, this old bullshit. And when we talked about this, here come Markman. Oh, this isn't being slimy or anything. You know, I'm just doing this because, you know, the people I work with, they told me to do it. So you're going to throw your people under the bus now. That's what you want to do? The fact is, and what did I say to you, Markman? I said to you and whoever, all right, whoever is behind this, with your cohorts, alright? All of y'all look fucking bad because you're exploiting the community and you should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. You should. And then what happens afterwards? Because you gotta think, this guy's all, you know, this makes the community look good. If you would sit and you would look at what the community is saying as a whole, it's not. And that's what he kept trying to bring up to me. He's like, oh, well, it's your individual opinion and I respect that. Let's get something fucking straight right now, okay? Because this dude obviously doesn't fucking know, okay? Number one, I didn't ask for your fucking respect. I don't need your fucking respect. And like I said, it is not an individual opinion when you're seeing majority of the gaming community, when it comes to FGC, sit here and say, this is fucked up. We're being used. But you don't want to believe that, right? Because you think you're doing something that's so fucking special, don't you? This is the problem with people who think that they're bigger than what the fuck they are. And they don't get out in reality. Isn't this the same motherfucker who was it? Who left a bunch of, expensive equipment in the car and it got stolen? You should know in reality, you should know better than to leave that shit in the car. Seriously, man, like this is the shit I'm talking about. And you want me to trust this fucking guy? Fuck that. I don't give a shit who you're with. Like I said, none of this shit mattered back in the day. Oh, I'm partnered with Mad Catz. Oh, I got this. Oh, I'm partnered with Gamestop. And we can pull these competitions. Guess what? We didn't need that shit back in the day. We still found a way to get it done without you. And guess what? Gamers will still find a way to get it done without you. Get the fuck out of my face, this old bullshit. For you, I respect it. No one asked for your fucking respect. Like you're on some type of high horse and shit. See, these dudes, like I said, these dudes go way too far to what they are. Like I said, if it wasn't for the way the community is built now, because you're not trying to help it, alright? Because I put it like this. If you were trying to help the fucking community, especially when it comes to media, alright? Y'all will be talking about all the problems in the community and how we can come up and brainstorm on how to try to fix the shit. Like I've been doing for a number of, years and others as well. But all these big time playing fighters, players, they don't talk about it, do they? No. When it comes to people like Markman, is he standing out and saying, look, this needs to be done? Is he saying, no, he's not. No. Just keep shilling out these fucking controllers and shit. Get the fuck out of here with the old bullshit. You notice everyone has their fucking hand out when it comes to this shit. If you notice that? Whether it's buy my controller, buy my fight pad, or buy my merchandise, or whatever. It's always fucking something. You always got your hand out to exploit the community. What the fuck do you give back? That's what I want to know. And don't tell me some competitions, because anyone can run that shit. Anyone. Like I said, before there was any established competitions, gamers were getting together and putting their own competition together. Matter of fact, you still see it to this day. All you gotta do is go on Twitch or whatever, and guess what? Gamers have their own tournaments, and what do? They have a prize at the end for the winner. Like I said, what you're doing is not that serious. It's not. Just because you got some company backing does not mean all of a sudden you're more important than anyone the fuck else. You're not untouchable. understand that shit really quickly. Unreal. But that's not all. No. Then yesterday, Rockaway Car messaged me about Markman, and mind you, wasn't added or anything, okay? And yet, he still liked Rockaway Car's tweet. We talked about earlier today. He's like, yeah, what the fuck is that all about? I didn't add him or anything. You want to know why? Because he's being a fucking child. You know what he's doing? He's searching his own name on fucking Twitter. Stop being a fucking loser. Seriously. Didn't no one say anything bad about him? He was talking to me about a specific situation, and then because he liked the tweet, he searched his name, found it, liked the tweet, and then my response to that was what, Rock? What did I say? Fuck Markman after what he's been doing the previous 2 weeks. He didn't like that shit though, did he? No. The fact is, this shit is big. Like I said, this community is bigger than what it can be. I should say it's bigger now than what it ever has been, but it can be better. But when you keep having these idiots in this fucking community try to say, look, this is how we're going to do things, and they're not doing right by you, then the community needs to fucking walk away. But y'all so stuck on this celebrity shit, and that's why they're rolling in real celebrities now, as opposed to, he's a top tier player. My God, I must kiss his hand, get on my knees and kiss his fucking hands and feet. You gotta be fucking kidding me. If anybody is doing that shit, first off, we've seen it done, but if you're doing that, you have no fucking integrity at all. You should know better than that. You shouldn't bow down to no fucking man. Or when you know that shit, the fuck is wrong with y'all? Over some games? Okay. Right. Let's move on, shall we? More Street Fighter 5 news. Yeah. I'm so fucking done with this community. Like I said, and this is me holding back. Yeah. Let's move on. Street Fighter 5. That's right. Capcom expects, that's right, not Capcom, I'm Capcom at this point. Capcom expects to sell 2 million copies of Street Fighter V. And you know what? It may just happen. And I'm calling them Capcom right now due to the fact that for anyone who has seen what's been going on since this backlash has happened, we have seen so many people go against the community and dick ride Capcom. And as you know, I have shown you in videos before, they're going to push that peer pressure. If you don't have this game, you're out of the loop. You're not cool. You're not up to standard. You're out of date. We see this time and time again, do we not? Especially when they come out with every different iteration, because FGC, they thrive off of the newest update, do they not? You gotta stay in competition. So you gotta get this. And you know it's funny, because as of late, what I've seen a lot online, a lot of people are saying, fuck Street Fighter V, I'm going back. I'm going backwards. It goes to show you that this game is fucked up. It is. And there's a number of issues that this game has. But when I see YouTubers coming out and saying, you're trying to assassinate Capcom, get the fuck out of my face with that old bullshit. Once again, if you're going to sit here and you're going to talk about the FGC, take it to the sticks. That's how it is. Don't sit and talk shit, and then when you challenge, you run away. Hi, Woo. Hi, Hip Hop Gamer. Yeah. The fact is, this needs to be corrected. And when I see these type of things, and I'm going to show you examples as well, but see, all these people, when they're trying to back Capcom, it almost tells me, because everyone's saying, you should wait till March. You should wait till March. Yeah. You paid $60 for a product now that you have to wait till in March, and then you're telling me you got to wait till what, June for the other part of it? $60 though. And people want to say this is a service? No. It's called being anti-consumer. Don't sit here and tell me after all the fucking standards we have in Game City. Hell, even Dive Kick has a fucking arcade mode. But you know, survival mode, that's enough. That's enough, right? No, it's not. It doesn't simulate a real match. It doesn't. But let's talk more about this, all right? Because it seems like people are being very anti-consumer when you sit here and say the community is at fault, because you're blaming gamers now. So let's talk about the media real quick, and this is exactly what they have to say about you guys. So now you want to compare this shit, Street Fighter, all right, to Metal Gear Ground Zeroes. Does somebody want to tell this stupid shit that Metal Gear Ground Zeroes didn't cost full price $60 and jump? Not only that, but then Kotaku comes along and says that you gamers, that's right, you consumers, you need to grow up, be an adult, and play Street Fighter V. The article they wrote pretty much comes down to, you don't like what I like, so you need to grow up. That's what it comes down to. instead of giving people a choice to say, hey, gamers have every right. I shouldn't even say gamers at this point. Consumers have every right to be upset given they paid full price for a product that they're still waiting for months down in the future. That's absolutely ridiculous, and they should be ashamed of themselves. But no, they don't want to go that route. But these are the same people who's telling you to grow up. Grow up. I find that funny because the same people who are telling you to grow up, guess what? They also went out on their own and said they threaten physical violence, or at least they want to threaten physical violence against people who disagree with them. Hypocrisy. It's a real thing these days. That's right. Well, I should say it's been there. It's just they're exposing themselves more and more each and every day. But I'll put it like this. Within all the media, articles that I've read on this and seen that, they're very, like I said, very anti-consumer. Forbes, out of all places, Forbes, who decides, if you have your ad block on, please turn it off if you want to read our article. Forbes was the only place I saw that came out and said, like I said, out of the group that, of those mainstream outlets, was the only media outlet I saw that actually defended gamers. And I agree. You can't blame consumers for smartening up and not falling for the okie doke. It's that simple. Capcom fucked up because they decided they wanted to cater. They had to rush this shit out because of the Capcom Pro Tour. And here's the thing. Y'all fail to realize that the masses that buy this game don't give a fuck about the Capcom Pro Tour. They don't give a shit about tournaments. A lot of these people don't even play online. You have to understand, they probably play at home and they play with their friends. You have to understand people who play this game casually, as I'm addressing this because, as we know, we've seen in the past, Capcom has said, this is a casual game. It is built for casuals. Casual Fighter 5. They have said this shit. So it's not like I'm making this shit up, okay? But the fact is, if that's your audience, your casuals are not going to be like, I'm going pro now. No, they don't care. But the fact is, you fucked this up by giving them not even bare bones, alright? You didn't even give them a fucking standard when it came to features. And you want to think that all of a sudden, gamers staying away from this for a later date? Because let's be honest, all these people who are praising the shit out of Street Fighter V, they are hoping, they are praying that update that comes out in March is godlike. They are waiting for it. It'll be better once March comes along. Yeah, it'll be better. Wait till June. I'll put it like this. If consumers were smart and they waited till June when all the other stuff is supposed to come out, not just March, but until June, you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? Price drop. That's what's going to happen. You have to be kidding me that people are still trying to push this type of fear, or I should say, this type of peer pressure onto other gamers. If you don't buy this, you're not a real gamer. You can fuck right off with that shit. Like I said, very anti-consumer, who just throws away their fucking money like that. Who? It's one thing if you just got caught in the trap and you didn't know that they were going to do this shit, and then you found out, was like, fuck, screw it, what do I do now? You know what I mean? That's one thing, alright? Because then you see people trying to justify their purchase. That's one thing, alright? But for people who are sitting back and seeing this shit, and you're like, okay, this is fucked up, all these things are fucked up, but I'm still going to kiss Capcom's ass, you can fuck right off. You really can. Speaking of that, let's talk about the community consumers now. Because for everyone who says, Street Fighter V, you're not gamers and things of that nature, let's talk about it. Street Fighter V's week 1 sales, less than Street Fighter 4's. That's right, in their week 1 sales. So it's already doing bad when it comes sales-wise, alright? No matter what you're seeing, that's what it shows you. Maybe it'll pick up in the future, like I said, during those godlike updates that you're so hoping happens, alright? But, as you know right now, not doing very well. Matter of fact, when you go to the critics, as opposed to the gamers, especially on Metacritic, completely 2 different scores. The numbers don't lie. And I see YouTubers coming out and see people on forums that you should support this game regardless if it's good or bad. Are you fucking stupid? You can't be that fucking stupid. It's impossible. Because if it's a bad product right now, you don't support it. That's how the gaming community has always worked. You try and fuck us, we won't buy your product. That means you have to try harder. And until you try harder, we won't support you. It's not, well, you tried harder, we should just, buy the game anyway in support. Get the fuck out of here with that old bullshit. Because then it sends a message. They can give you the absolute worst, the absolute least stuff, and you'll still buy it. It sets a bad precedent. But it seems like we got enough stupid fucks around here to believe that's how things should go. As far as I'm concerned, they need to get the fuck out of this community. And like I said, I will give you a chart right now. Because for those who still want to try and justify this bullshit, tell me, how would you feel as though if this was other products and you paid full price for a half product? Notice those examples are more important than Street Fighter V. They're necessities, are they not? Food, you need to survive, don't you? It's probably this. If you're going to go to a job where you gotta have your hair cut, right? You're going to need a car to get to where you need to go, depending on where you live, right? Those are what you call necessities. But if they were half-assed, you'd have a real big problem with that now, wouldn't you? But Street Fighter V, for some reason, when it comes to video games, and like I said, we're talking on consumer base. If you're not smart enough to keep up with what the fuck I'm saying, then you should, as I say, not the door, take the window. It's real fucking obvious. It's right in your face. The examples, the truth. And you still want to play this old bullshit where you want to say, well, you need to grow up, or you need to buy this game and push peer pressure. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all a bunch of grown-ass men. These aren't kids doing this. These are grown-ass men acting like this. Alright. Let's move on. More Street Fighter V news. You should now get into matches at a much faster rate, Capcom is saying. And I still see people saying, it's a little bit faster, but not that much faster. We're still having problems. So Capcom, you have to work on that. Also, Capcom talks of possibly removing charged moves for future DLC characters. So no charge characters. You know how fucked up Guile's going to be? Seriously, do you understand all these new characters? You know what? We're not going to talk about it. Anybody who's played the game, you know what your charger can do. You're just going to have it. You have a field day with it. If Capcom decides to go this route. That's right. No charge characters. I'm sure some people who don't like charge characters, they'll love that. But it absolutely fucks the game. Now you have one-dimensional type of gameplay, and what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? Your Casual Fighter 5 will now be even more Casual Fighter 5. Seriously, people, at this point, King of Fighters 14, Tekken. Yeah, at this point. But there's more. Yeah, there's more. If you want to unlock all character colors from Street Fighter V, excuses offer some tips for beating survival on hard mode. Because you're going to have to go through all the survival in order to do it. Okay? Now, a lot of people are very upset about this because you're hearing horror stories about people being at level 49, getting there, and then getting railroaded. So, that's it. Game over. Yeah. I believe what some people have said already is this is Capcom's way of trying to get you to buy the stuff. We'll see what happens. Alright? We don't know exactly what they're going to have in the future. We know that they're going to have season passes and DLC, and you can pay for it. And, a lot of people say, well, we can unlock it. But when you're seeing these type of things happen, a lot of people are being very skeptical right now about it. They are. And they have every right to be skeptical, given what has already happened. A company has to at least come out on a good note when they first released the game. And they didn't. So already, you're in front of the gun. You are. You're in front of the gun, and people are going to be very suspicious about what your next move is going to be. They have every right to be skeptical, especially if they're consumers and they're paying for this money. They're paying for this. They're using their money to pay for this shit. Yeah, I don't blame them at all. Not at all. But here's more, alright? Capcom is exploring looking into arcade mode for Street Fighter V. You're considering this. Considering. Not that it's a thing. You're considering it. Are you fucking serious? This is what I mean. Once again, they're just going to consider it. Because, if they give you this, if they do give it to you, you're going to hear from Capcom fans? Oh, praise Capcom for giving us our graces because we were so entitled for wanting arcade mode. You know this is going to happen, right? This is absolutely ridiculous. And this is what Capcom has set you up on. And you're just going to blindly follow it because guess what? A lot of you, and I'm not saying all of you, it's not all of you. Alright? Because I've seen the comments, I've seen what people have said on their videos, so it's not all of you, alright? But a lot of you are fucking stupid and fucking sheep, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Let's say, you're old enough to know better. You are. So you can't even use that as an excuse. But let's not just forget that when Capcom says these type of things, whether they lie to you, because they've lied to your face before, or they can obviously, don't. So I think it's because Capcom has lied so fucking much. When they actually do something, people give them more praise than what they deserve. Instead of saying, you know what, you should have did this shit to begin with. Because remember, back in the day, they told us there wasn't going to be an Ultra Street Fighter 4. To your face. Again, tell me how trustworthy Capcom can be. Tell me that again. Tell me that I'm supposed to just blindly just run into it, right? That's what it is. You know, where are all the big time players to talk about this shit in detail? Where they at? Not really around much? No? All the guys that are getting their asses kissed, not around really? Nah. Don't want to bite the hand that feeds, huh? I got you. Yeah. See, this is the difference between me and them. Alright? Like I said, it's one thing when you say, if you're going to be for the community, then be for the fucking community. If you're not for the community, then don't even speak on this shit. That's how I see it. Alright? That's exactly how I see it. The players don't want to say nothing? Fine. But don't all of a sudden try to act like you a fucking ambassador or whatever. We've seen this before in the past from players. Alright? Don't give me this shit. Y'all still got problems with people trying to be bullies, you know what I'm saying, at the tournaments. And then y'all still saying, it's not my problem. But you supposed to be one of the people that's leading the charge, right? But you're not going to say shit? You're not going to speak up? Yeah, alright. Like I said, these people don't deal with real issues, alright? They pick and choose what they want to speak on so that, you know, it makes it look good or they don't want to fuck the sponsors or anything. No, tell it how it is, man. You going to tell me this is the only way you can make a living? Like I said, everyone got their hands out again. I forgot. They got their hands out. That's how it is, right? Buy my merchandise. Yeah, buy my merchandise. And for those who want to see that article on Street Fighter 4, not supposed to be there, I'll put the link in the info bar for that, all right? Also, last bit of news when it comes to Street Fighter, because it's taking up so much fucking time, but everything that's happened this week had to talk about it, you know what I mean? But Street Fighter 5 doesn't penalize rage quitters, and Capcom is looking into that now. So, let's look exactly on how bad this rage quitting can actually get.
Round 2. Fight!
Kikoken! Yeah?
Just stop playing the game. Seriously, that's why stop playing the fucking game. We've seen rage quitting when it comes to in beta. You're not gonna learn shit. Everyone's just getting the game and they still learn it. You're not gonna learn shit if you rage quit. You brought it on yourself. Who the fuck special off wake up like that? You was asking for that shit. And you gonna rage quit? Get the fuck out of here, man. It's all bullshit. Just stop playing. If that's how people are gonna act, I can understand if this game was months old and people had a chance to, to play and get into it. But the fact that this is still new and people are still learning and you're rage quit, get the fuck out of here. You don't want to play a game then. You obviously don't want to learn. You don't want to put in time to learn. And we've seen this way too much. Everybody in the FGC knows, alright, you're going to take a lot of losses before you get good. If you're going to quit every fucking time you did something stupid and you got punished for it, fuck out of here. Bullshit. Let's move on. Yeah, I really hope that Capcom really drops the hammer down on people who are going to rage quit over some bullshit like that. Seriously. Pokken Tournament. That's right. For those who don't know, we'll be at Gamestop on the 27th. It will. Okay? Also, Capcom is revealing, I know Capcom, but reveals their Attack on Titan arcade game. I will say this right now about Capcom. It's looking really well. Hopefully this comes to the West. For those who have not seen it, I'll put a link in the info bar so you can see the screenshots of what the actual arcade unit looks like. Looks pretty cool. Also, let's talk about EA. And their bullshit. Don't have much to say about EA this week. However, the piece of news that they did say, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves, okay? EA criticizes the Wii U. Yeah, the Wii U for not having a sports entertainment app. That's right, or apps. Are you fucking serious? EA, you have done little to nothing to help Nintendo. And you have the nerve to come out and say that you're disappointed with them? Who the fuck are you to be disappointed? Unreal. Who the fuck are you to criticize anything at this point? Mind you, this is the same EA who gave FIFA fans the same copy of FIFA the next year. Remember? They got caught. They literally poured it over the same copy from last year and slapped the new year on it. They got caught and then tried to damage control for it. So don't give me this shit and all of a sudden you're going to criticize Nintendo. Fuck off. You're not helping. Let's move on. Halo 5. Speaking of not fucking helping, Halo 5 micros have made it to at least $1.5 million. That's right, the microtransactions. Gamers, why are you still... You just want to be taking for your money, don't you? And they're saying, well, the money's going to go to the tournament and everything. I don't give a shit. The fact is, you are setting a horrible precedent with these microtransactions. You keep paying for them. They're going to say, it's selling. We're going to keep doing it. And then before you know it, other companies are saying, damn, they're making a lot of money off microtransactions. Maybe we can get in on this, even if we're not going to have a fucking tournament. Yep. Let's move on. Let's talk about Gears of War 4. That's right. Apparently, it will be a graphical showcase for the Xbox One. Does anyone care? I mean, gameplay should matter, right? Who gives a shit about the graphical showcase? I mean, let's be honest here. It's supposed to be about the gameplay. If you're still trying to push this graphics over gameplay thing, you are going to be sadly mistaken every fucking time you do this. You understand that gamers, what's been selling the most? Can anyone tell me what's been selling the most when it comes to video games? In the previous, I'm going to say 2 or 3 years. Indie, right? Meaning creative games that you don't need a lot of graphical power for. AAA games have taken a hit as of late. For those who don't talk about also, digital Xbox One Doom pre-orders come with Doom 1 and Doom 2, but the people who made Deus Ex says that mainstream games are not making much progress. He feels as though he's playing the same game over and over. And yeah, you are. But we've said this for years, and no one wanted to hear our take on it, our gamers. But then as soon as a developer comes out and says something, then it's newsworthy, right? Okay. All right. Also, more bad news. I wouldn't blame Capcom. I guess it's Capcom because they signed off on it. But Dead Rising Endgame to begin filming for Crackle. If anyone has seen the previous, it's horrible. Why would you even waste your fucking time? I don't know. I don't understand it. I guess some people like that shit, but I saw, the previous one. I was like, the fuck out of here. I ain't wasting my time. You know what I mean? Got better things to do. But speaking of better things to do, might as well shift over to that now. So last week we talked Devil May Cry. And we saw Dante show up. Did we not? We talked about Dante in Nightcry. And I want to say now that, I'm sure you see it in the header, that the creator of Devil May Cry, original creator, he has come out and he's put a poll because he wants to make a game where Bayonetta meets Dante. However, he's asking you fans on which version of Dante should be used. I guess DMC Dante, it's really over for him. I guess he really did die in that vending machine, huh? Anyways, I want to move on to some news. XCOM 2 is there's a modding contest for XCOM 2, and it's being held in London. That's right. Also, and great news for XCOM 2, apparently you're getting a Bob Ross voice pack. So, in the thrill of it all, in the heat of it all, you're going to have Bob Ross's soothing voice, I should say, try and calm you down and try to focus. I think that is absolutely hilarious. And the last bit of news, which really upsets me, just to let you know, Ronda Rousey wants to play Samus in a full, action movie. All right, whatever. And that's not the problem I have with it because, like I've said before, for people who ask me online, I don't have a problem with it if you get the right director. You know what I mean? If you can make it really good, like if you get someone like Del Toro to push it or something, like I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. Maybe probably people from District 9. I mean, if you bypass all the holes in Elysium, still, it could be good. You know what I mean? This could be something that Ronda Rousey could probably get her hands on. Besides, she's a big Metroid fan. She likes Samus. It's not my problem, okay? Here's the problem I have right now. Because some idiot, that's right, now I don't think this person even plays video games, okay? They're piggybacking, once again, exploiting our community, comes out and says, Ronda Rousey should not play Samus because Samus is transgendered and Ronda Rousey is against transgendered people. Yeah. They actually came out and said this. Like, it boggles my fucking mind. And they go on to say that gender is very important when it comes to Metroid. Actually, no, it's not. We didn't know that Samus... Do we have to keep reminding these people? Like I said, these are people who probably don't play video games. They're piggybacking. We didn't know if Samus was a man or a woman during playing Metroid. Then when it was revealed, guess what? After all the shit you've been through, you didn't give a shit. You didn't care. And to this day, we still do not care. You can play Smash and still not care that Samus is a woman. Doesn't matter. But they're going to try and push this narrative as far as they can that it's, it's because of transgender, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to force Samus, even though the creators already said, Samus is a woman. Samus is a woman. Deal with it. But they're going to try and they're going to change fucking history and say that Samus is transgender. They think if they complain enough or if they keep putting it out there that it'll stick in the ear. But this is what I mean about influence. This is what I mean about damaging our community. Or those who are looking to get in our community and don't know much about it. This is what they're going to believe. These type of people have to go. They have to. You can't keep writing this shit off as, well, it's a stupid article, ha ha ha, that's funny. No, it's time that action is taken. For example, Gamergate. Where are you when it comes to all these YouTubers clearly kissing Capcom's ass simply to be in their good graces? Huh? Because ethics and journalism, they call themselves journalists. Where are you at here? Ethics and journalism, don't see you taking a run at these guys. This is what I mean. It's not just about the handouts and the payouts. It's also about pretty much taking our community and throwing it upside down simply to appease the companies. And hopefully they'll get looked at, hey, I supported you through this time. Do you care about me now? That's what it is. It's no different. Whether it's a YouTuber, as we know, a lot of people say that the media is dying because of YouTube. Whether it's a YouTuber, whether it's a media, whether it's somebody writing an article on fucking Tumblr, whatever. The fact that they would push this, and I'm going to use their word, this toxic bullshit in our community, when you know we have a new generation coming up soon on the rise, they're going to, like I said, try and change our history. You can fuck right off. Seriously. For all the shit I've shown you today, there is a huge problem what we have right now. And it's not just the industry. Listen, industry, they're going to pull stunts because the community lets them get away with it. And we have these yes men that have integrated in our community and saying, we're real gamers because we're being yes men, but you're not a real gamer because you're questioning what the fuck is going on. Like I said, I'm being trying to be very calm today. Trying. This is just level of disappointment. I see this every week. You know, the previous couple weeks, I think we've been laughing it off, right? Been laughing it off, trying to have fun, laughing it off. Today, there's just no laughing matter. The fact that this is still going on. And these people are saying this shit, but the community has not walked away from them. They're still listening to them. No. It's absolutely, it's unacceptable that we would just let this ride. As a community, we have done so many things. We have helped people with diseases. We have raised so much money through video games, mind you. People that, who lost some of the stuff, like, the scooters, like, people were disabled, and gamers pooled their money together and did something and got them stuff. All the positive things that we have done as gamers, as a community. You're going to tell me you're going to have somebody come to you and tell you that you're not a fucking gamer because you disagree with fucking Capcom? Get the fuck out of my face with that shit. That's the shit, like I said. And these are people who say they're real gamers. Who the fuck have they helped? Other than themselves. Alright, you know what? I'm done. Because I'm done. Fuck this. I'm out.